Last week on Stamp TV, I made a card project that included a ribbon and button embellishment. And although the video was on another topic, many of you asked me how I created that embellishment. So today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you a simple Christmas card featuring the stamps from the Merry Little Christmas Stamp TV kit and a few other items so you can learn how to make this embellishment too. Let me show you the tools and products you need to do this technique. First, you're going to need some ribbon. And I'm using a little bit of our black gingham ribbon, and this is the 5/8 of an inch width. You can do this with a thinner ribbon, but for this particular button that I'm using, this is going to be a nice thickness. Then you're going to need some twine, and I'm using the black and white twine by We Are Memory Keepers. Then I have a couple different buttons here. I have one with 4 holes, which I'm going to show you how to do, and then I'm going to show you how to do the one with 2 holes. Then you're going to need some scissors and a little bit of adhesive. To begin, what I have here is a piece of pattern paper adhered to some of the red hot cardstock. And this particular pattern paper comes from the Gina Designs Berries and Vines pattern paper pack. Then I used a couple of the images from the City of David stamp set, and that stamp set is included in the Merry Little Christmas Stamp TV kit. So the first step to creating this embellishment is to cut a piece of ribbon that will fit across the card, and then you're going to adhere that onto your card. So I'm going to do that by positioning it about where I want it and then flipping it over and adding a little bit of tape on the back. And you don't have to worry about it being perfectly straight because you can fix it once you turn it over. So I'm going to do that. Plus you're going to have to reposition it one more time after you get the button adhered to it. Okay, so there is the piece of wide ribbon. Now I'm going to add this button that has 4 holes. So my next step would be to cut a decent amount of twine, and I'm going to feed the twine through one of the holes, and then I'm going to feed it back through the opposite hole. As you can see here, this is the opposite hole. So now that is through on the one side, and just make the strings relatively even. Then the next step is to lay the button approximately where you want it, and you're going to feed one side of the ribbon under and pull it through, and then the other side of the ribbon you're going to feed that under, going in the opposite direction, and pull it through. There we go. Okay, so now that's kind of tied. You can see that's kind of like wrapped around the ribbon. Now you're going to feed this twine one side through one hole and the other side through the other hole. It's easier if you can look at the back when you do it. Oops. Try that again here. There we go. So now, see how that is all coming together? Now you're going to pull nice and tight on it, like that, and then you can tie it into a bow. And once you have it tied, then if you need to relax the ribbon a little bit, you can pick it up and position it where you want to, and then stick it back on the back. And then you can cut off the strings, or maybe you want to do another knot. You can do another knot section, or another bow section, which is really pretty. Like that. So that's a pretty little embellishment. And then you can just slide it down to where you want so that your focal image fits in there nicely and adhere your focal image. Now for the single one, it's a lot easier. I thought I'd show you the hard one first. So let's take this off of here. All right, so now we have that same piece of ribbon. I like to start with it just a little bit tight. All right, and then I'm going to use that same piece of twine so I don't have to waste it. And you're going to slip the one side into one hole, and then the other side you're going to slide underneath the ribbon, position that on top, and then put that other side through the button on the other side. Now this has been used quite a bit, so it's starting to get a little bit frayed. There we go. And then get it so where it's kind of even. And again, you're going to tie it, and then you're going to pull it nice and tight like that. And then you can do a bow, and if you want to do two bows, you can do two bows, that's fine. This one, I think I'm just going to do one. I don't know if I have enough string to do two, so I'll just do one there. I probably have enough string to do two. Let's do two. There we go. Oops. All right. There we go. And then you can just trim off the excess. I want that loop to be just a little more even, so I'm going to pull on it a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then just trim off the excess. There we go. So there you have a little button, and that doesn't really need a whole lot of adjusting, but if you wanted to adjust it a little bit, you could, to make it just a little bit tighter. And now what I like to do with the focal image is, because this is kind of lumpy in here, I like to adhere the focal image using some of these 1/4 inch pop dots, and that will raise that up just a little bit off of the ribbon. It's not too bulky, so it's still fairly easy to mail. Although if you do add a button to your card project, you will have to pay a little bit of additional postage. You should check with your local post office to make sure you have the right amount. But these kinds of cards are really nice to make when you're going to hand deliver a card, maybe slip a gift card inside. And then we're going to put that focal image right there, like that. And this whole panel is going to go on top of a white card base, just like that. So I'll put that on using a little bit of the adhesive. Don't need a whole lot. And let's move that over a hair. And there is the finished card. And you can slide that button down a little bit if you want to have a little bit more room. There we go. There's the finished card project. Try using smaller buttons and thinner ribbon for a more delicate look. And try tying multiple buttons onto your ribbon to create an interesting border for any card project.